Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will be discussing on improving the company security for SkyTech Sdn Bhd. Here will be the agenda in this presentation. The company has been experiencing some depth and mistakes here and there in the administration office as well as the warehouse. Also, server is experiencing some slowdown in the processing requests. The proposal is to improve the security of the company as it becoming more obvious that one of the most crucial foundational pieces of enhancing cybersecurity within a business is teaching employees about cybersecurity. So, in order to improve the company's cybersecurity, we have to maximize access control in our overall corporate security programs. There is no reason to be concerned about losing control over who has the access to these things. The following are the access of control goals, which are identification, authentication, and approval. Identification is where we must provide a method of identifying a person in order to implement access control. This means by identification are things like type republic accounts, PGP email signatures, or even server closet keys. For authentication is necessary. This is the procedure for ensuring that the ID being used is legitimate and being used by the correct individual. For example, authentication entails verifying the login and password combination. For approval, is the collection of actions permitted for a specific ID lies at the heart of the approval. On computers, authorization often takes from the form of username-related read, write, and execute permissions. Next, how do we enhance the company security in access control? To begin with, we have to make the guidelines for an access control system. We're supposed to seek, approve, give, alter, review, or revert access. Also, account kinds must be recognized and recorded. It is important that identify and document the different accounts, the types of the business users. Following by verify to determine if continuous account management is in place. If all the accounts do not undergo continual maintenance, unauthorized or inappropriate accounts access is likely to occur. In order to continue to be effective, account management must be done repeatedly on a regular basis. Action must be connected to a specific unique user. A user ID that they can only use for themselves should be provided to each user. Any unauthorized users request access to the organization, network, system, or application should have appropriate user identification procedures in place to verify their claimed identity each time they log in. Set up privileged accounts control to make sure that authorized privileged accounts users are performing their assigned duties in compliance with established security control criteria. Appropriate checks or validation for privileged accounts operation should be implemented. Organize and uphold secure log-on processes. By verifying users' IDs, this links the user's behavior to their identity. Secure log-on procedures may help lessen the possibility of password compromise, which could lead to security incidents or data breach. Permit password administration, which allow only high-quality password should be used in the password management system, which also be interactive. Implement security measures to protect unintended computer systems. These measures should give companies an extra layer of security, lowering the possibility that an unauthorized user will be obtained access to an authorized user system or the output from system devices. Make provision for managing remote access. Implementing control will lower the risk of unwanted access or potential intrusions related with remote access activities.
Hi, my name is Nurul Natasya Binti Mazlan. Today, I would like to present about physical security. Physical security ensures the protection of employees, equipment, software, networks, and data against potential physical threats that could lead to substantial damage or harm to an organization, agency, or institutions. The proactive focus of physical security on damage prevention prove invaluable, saving time, money, and resources that would otherwise be wasted in dealing with this disaster. The physical security framework comprises three core components, which is access control, surveillance, and testing. The effectiveness with which these elements are adopted, enhanced, and upheld plays a critical role in determining the efficiency of a company's physical security program. First is access control. Access control is limiting and controlling who has access to locations, facilities, and materials is the key to optimizing physical security measure. Two is surveillance. For incident treatments and mitigation, this is a critical physiological security component. Three is testing. Testing is becoming increasingly crucial, particularly when it comes to organizational cohesiveness. Fire drills are an essential exercise for many organizations and buildings since they aid in the coordinations of big groups as well as their reaction strategy. What are the best hardening strategies for company physical security? To prevent attackers from gaining physical access and taking what they need, physical security must be effectively implemented. Based on this case study, I will propose some true based on the scenarios for SkyTech. First scenario, need to leave the workplace for a minute. Secure the area before leaving it attended. Take keys out of drawers, close and lock windows, never share access code, card, and key. Do not hold the secure door for strangers and lock up any sensitive materials. Second scenario, prevent shoulder serving. Keep the PIN, credit card details, login information, and other critical information safe. Use the body or cup hands to cover document or a keyboard from view. Third scenario, don't leave any device unattended. Physically secure laptop and mobile device at all times. Keep them with yourself or lock them up securely before step away, even for just a second, and make sure got password. Furthermore, do not leave the mobile device in public place such as laptop, mobile phone, memory sticks, DVD, and other similar things. Fourth scenario, enable remote wipe. Encrypt all mobile device if the password entered incorrectly too many times. Consider turning this off to protect information in the case of theft or loss, and backup the device information regularly. Fifth scenario, the sensitive information. Shielding is the most used method as it is fast, safe, and cost effective. It involves cutting the physical document into pieces to make it difficult or almost impossible to put back together. Sixth scenario, clean desk policy. Adopting a clean desk policy will assist firms in reducing the risk of information theft, fraud, or a security breach caused by sensitive information being left in plain sight. The last scenario, lost device. Report to the IT department and notify the supervisor. Change all password stored or used on the device, including the email, Dropbox, and banking. A security policy is a written document that specifies how to safeguard and manage the company in the event of danger. The company must identify all assets as well as possible risks to the assets. Policies should be revised on a regular basis and made available to staff. Launch an internal inspection, for example, on the company's network. The following rules and procedures will be required for a mature security program. First, email and communication policy. The firm SkyTech communicates via email and regular phone networks. The company should establish criteria for what constitute acceptable and improper usage of businesses' communication technologies. Two, remote access policy. The policy is a document that describes an appropriate technique of connecting to an organization internal network from a remote location. Three, incident response policy. The policy is intended to coordinate how the organization handles incident and mitigate their impact on operation. Fourth, information security policy. Information security policy are broad rules that address a wide range of security measures. The corporation created this policy to guarantee that all workers who utilize information technology set throughout the organization or network follow the rules and standards. Fifth, access control policy. The ACP specifies the workers' access to the firm's data and information system. This policy addresses several issues, including user access standard, network access restriction, operating system software controls, and the difficulty of corporate password. Method for securing unattended workstation, removing access when employees resign, and monitoring how corporate systems are accessed and utilized are also covered.
Hello, my name is Fatim and I will be presenting Incident Response Planning. What is Incident Response Planning? Also called IRP. IRP is a documented written plan with 6 distinct phases that helps IT professionals and staff to recognize and deal with cybersecurity risks and incidents such as data breach or cyber attack. It consists of 6 different stages, which is number 1, preparation, number 2, identification, number 3, containment, number 4, eradication, number 5, recovery, and number 6, lesson. Number 1, preparation. These steps require a true review of security policies and provide a perfect stage to carry out risk assessment and figure those assets which need critical security attention from the team. Number 2, identification. The team must keep a close check on operation and capture any unusual activities in the operation which can be a potential security breach. Number 3, containment. After an incident has been detected by the team, the next process is the containment of the incident so that any further damage can be prevented. Containment can be either short-term or long-term. Short-term containment is a simple step. It's isolation of one particular network where the attack is occurred. Long-term containment is a new and clean system that are built fresh. Number 4, eradication. This step involves identifying the root cause of the incidents or threat and take immediate remedial action to prevent any further occurrence. And number 5, recovery. This process is to restore affected system and resume production with utmost care to prevent recurrence of the incidents. And lastly, lesson learned. Lesson learned are analyzed after breach has happened and to document it. Thank you. Next, to improve security in SkyTech Sdn Bhd, these are the policy and procedure to tighten data security. Number 1, govern risk and compliance, GRC. This is to guarantee data security and privacy compliance are secure. Number 2, insider threats. This is to ensure the communication is secure and delivered to the right person. Number 3, visibility and discovery. This is to ensure governance cloud-based data also need a discovery mechanism. Number 4, password hygiene. Strong and unique password has to be enforced to every employee on each system platform login. And lastly, database protection. It consists of 4 different steps. Number 1, enforce limited access. Number 2, conduct regular access review. Number 3, monitor database activity. And number 4, encrypt sensitive data.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Hakim. So I will continue to present about roles and responsibility about security workplace. Okay, first is the personnel. When something happens in the workplace, employees company should immediately address violence to the work supervisor or manager of the units. Okay, other than that, in cybersecurity, all employees should be using antivirus software and password protection tools to protect the cybersecurity. Okay, next I will explain about roles supervisor and manager. Supervisor and manager must ensure full assessment of violence situation and render safety and security of employees. The manager in company may control who can enter the building and with what level of permission, giving the ease of mind that people and property are protected. We continue with the IT managers. IT managers must monitor all operation and infrastructure and maintain all security tools and technology. In addition, encouraging employees to use strong passwords and change them regularly can go a long way in protecting intellectual property. Meanwhile, IT department should work with HR to ensure that employees have the right rules and guidance to understand how and why to use all these critical tools. For this reason, companies need good collaboration in the workplace between IT and FM so that both teams can work together to address security issues. The Personal Data Protection Act (PDPA) in Malaysia requires businesses to protect their customer personal data by not misusing, collecting, or processing it without explicit consent. The PDPA was enacted as a response to the indiscriminate collection and use of the personal information without concern or security precaution, causing concern about privacy and safety. The PDPA established rules that businesses must follow, including obtaining consents and ensuring secure storage of information. Compliance with the PDPA, however, can also boost consumer confidence and trust in a brand, increasing repeat business and consumer customer loyalty. It is important for businesses operating in Malaysia to familiarize themselves with the PDPA and ensure compliance with its requirements to protect the privacy and right of the individuals whose personal data is collected and processed. Lastly, in conclusion, a safety environment not only offers a secure workplace for employees, but also a more efficient workplace. Therefore, the quality of work is very effectiveness. A healthy and safe working environment promotes staff morale, increase efficiency and productivity, mitigate staff turnover, and prevent the cost implication of workplace injuries and illness. Thanks, that's all from me.